Okay, I had to find my
volume.
Okay,
guys, welcome to the call. I'm so excited you guys are here, or some of you are watching the recording. Tonight we have the legend, Alicia McKee, and she's probably going to roll her eyes that I say that, but you are a legend, girl, at least for anybody who's been doing this for a while. And I just love you. I love watching your journey. I love hearing you talk. And so I was very, very happy when you agreed to get on here because, you never know what to expect when you reach out to somebody and ask them to pour into somebody else's team that's not theirs. So I love that, just one Plexus mentality of you being willing to come here and share your story and train us and just let us learn from you. So we love you. Thank you so, so much. And you just take it away.
You are welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me to the call and having me on. And I don't know Kendall, but I do know your sweet cousin Heather. And so I'm glad to help. Glad to I know sometimes it just takes a different person to say the same thing you've been saying to your team this whole time, and then somebody's like, "Oh, I get it now." But let me warn y'all real quick. My husband is at softball with one of my daughters. I have 4 girls. And my 5-year-old is known to come barging in. So
it's okay. I have a 6-year-old that'll do the same. So it's all good.
So I do have a 12-year-old in charge of the 5-year-old, which usually doesn't work out real well. So there's my warning. And she will jump on my lap and try to be in on the call. So, but you know what? That's the beauty of working from home, right? We get to have our kids with us and we're all crazy. Y'all are all like, yeah. We got kids too. It's no big deal.
We get it, girl.
But thanks for having me. It was so funny. Your list. I asked Kendall. I said, "What do y'all want to hear about tonight?" And she gave me this list. I'm like, "Yep. All the same stuff that we all talk to our teams about all the time." And anyway, so I want to tell you a little bit about my story, just how I got started, and I'm actually going to address some of these things in there. And you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay," because everybody has a different story, and I'm actually about to celebrate 4 years with Plexus, which seems like forever compared to some people, but it has gone by crazy fast for me. So let me tell you how I learned about Plexus. So in case y'all didn't know, I'm in a town called Frisco, Texas, which is just north of Dallas. And I see some of this going on, so y'all know where I am. And I have our 4th daughter was a bonus baby. I don't know if y'all ever heard of or have one of those. Maybe you do too. But I actually had her 3 weeks before I turned 40. So that was like, God, you were so funny. We were done, But anyway, so God had other plans, and she's been an absolute joy. But let me tell you, it's a lot harder to lose baby weight when you're 40, right? So anyway, I was, on Facebook one day, and one of my friends had posted about Plexus, and my first thought was, that's a weird name. What? I thought, that's the craziest thing. Well, and she was talking, and it was a skinny friend that had moved off to Louisiana, and not somebody that I see all the time, right? So I was like, whatever, you don't need to lose weight. And but I asked her about it. She sent me to her website. It was not the same one we have now. It was much harder to navigate. She didn't tell me about any of the products. And had she said, "Oh, you can do this while you're nursing," I would have been on board. But I'm like, my mind was, well, I'm not going to do anything while I'm nursing. I'm just going to wait. When I'm done, I'll start it. So she never followed up. Okay. She never said, "Hey, Alicia, did you get to my website? Do you have any questions? Let me tell you about the products that I love." She never, ever followed up. She never, she actually stopped posting about Plexus, y'all. So you know what that means to us. If all of a sudden she would be posting about her t-shirt business and making these great t-shirts. And so then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I need to get her to make me a t-shirt. Like, I totally forgot about Plexus, that weird named company. But I, started, when I saw her talk on Facebook, she was just talking about her t-shirts. So I completely forgot about it. 9 months go by. Okay. 9 months go by until my next friend posted about Plexus. So guess what? By then I was done nursing. I was ready to do something. My husband was ready to do something because we do everything together. So he had baby weight to lose too. Very supportive that way. And so I said, when my friend Beth posted, I reached out to her and I said, okay, I've seen, some other posts about this. Does it really work? She said, I'm going to be at Target later. Let me bring a sample by to your house. Okay. Her making that little extra effort, not just to send me to her website, not just to, say, here, go find out about it yourself. She brought me over a sample and she did not have all the answers. Okay. She said, I don't know why this works, but I feel great. Scott feels great. He's lost like 11 pounds already. And my friend Celeste, she's already paid for her whole family to go on a mission trip. And she just started like 6 weeks ago. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? You mean you can make money doing this stuff and it works? And I made it right then. I'm like, and it tastes good? Sign me up. I want it for the best price because my husband and I both need to do it. And of course, she didn't even know to tell me to get the $233 kit. Okay, this is how new she was. She didn't know about the products. She said, this is what we take, so that's what I ordered. Our website, again, was not the one we have now. It was very hard to navigate. And we just jumped in. It was $133. But back then, I had been a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. And we made some sacrifices for me not to work, right? So I didn't have the extra money to do this. So what I did for extra money is I sold things on Facebook. So I have 4 girls. So we have lots of clothes and toys and stuff. And I would sell things on Facebook to get the money. So I had my Facebook stash of money. And so that's what I used it on. Okay. So when you have people that tell you it's too expensive, that's what I did to earn some extra money to pay for my kit. They tell you, I don't know enough about the product. It doesn't matter. If it's a good friend that you trust, they're going to listen and follow you, right? And then follow up. So I just told you 3 scenarios about me, of how I got into this business, and how important follow-up is, and how important it is to talk to your friends, even if you don't have all the answers. So that, y'all, was the beginning of something amazing, because within the first week, my husband was like, we're not going to sell this stuff right off the bat. We need to see how it works for us. Have y'all heard that before? Yeah. And we're all like, no, you just need to jump in. Don't waste any time. Y'all, that first week, 3 of my friends joined under somebody else. And I have been kicking myself for almost 4 years because I waited a week. Now think about all those people that have waited like a month or 2 before they found results, before they started sharing. So there we go. You should never wait, because just, if I had started sharing earlier, those 3 friends who were closet Plexus people, so I didn't even know they were doing Plexus when I finally came out, and told people. And so, they were like, oh, we would have joined under you. Really? I mean, seriously, I lost them. 3 good friends in a week. And then let's see. So I felt better. I didn't want my Diet Cokes. We've all heard a lot of people have given up their sodas. I see some nods here. I thought it was really weird, because that was not part of my bargain. I was not willing to give up my Diet Coke. That was not what I was after. But I thought it was weird that I would drive by Sonic during happy hour and keep going. I thought, what is wrong with me? Like, I really should be going by and getting a Route 44 Diet Coke, drinking it all, going home, and then refilling it up, because you don't want to waste the good ice, right? So, so I thought that was kind of strange. We both lost weight. We both felt better. I had something called plantar fasciitis that I developed with that 4th pregnancy. I didn't have it with the other ones. And it can be brought on with pregnancy. Well, I thought I was dying. I couldn't make it across the room to get to her crib, okay? When we had her in the room, and without my feet hurting, and I was having to wear these supports on my feet. I had to do exercises before I got out of the bed. I was actually at that point when I started Plexus, I was getting shots in my feet, steroid shots in my feet every few weeks to help my feet, and it worked. So I did it, right? Well, I didn't know at the time how bad steroids were for you. And I didn't know that Plexus would help with inflammation, which is what my problem was. So guess what? The next time the lady called from the doctor to verify, just to make sure that I was coming in for my shots, to, verify my appointment or whatever, I said, well, those shots are $70 each and my feet aren't hurting right now. So let me just call you back when my feet are hurting again. And that was 3.5, almost 4 years ago. So I have never called back to get more shots in my feet. Because I learned about a little ingredient called alpha-lipoic acid that helps with inflammation in our slim. So let me tell you, I joined, the reason I joined was for weight loss after having a baby. But what it's done for me, it's helped with my inflammation. My feet no longer hurt. I don't have that crazy craving for Diet Coke that I used to have, like bad craving. I will drink a soda every once in a while, but I'm trying to stay away from artificial sweeteners. But when you have popcorn, sometimes you got to have soda. And I say soda because it's usually like a root beer or something. But, and I won't drink the whole thing. I might drink a couple of sips and that's it. It's the craziest thing. I never thought I would be able to give that up. I love water. Y'all, we moved last year to a house on the lake, and it's my paycheck that pays for it, not my husband, who's a VP at his company. We have 3 girls in private school. This was another thing that we could have never, ever done had it not been for Plexus. And it's changed our lives. So I went from, being a stay-at-home mom, not really looking for a company. I was going to have to start working once Sinclair went to kindergarten. That was the plan. Well, she starts kindergarten next year. And already Mama has a very, very good business with almost 28,000 people on my team. So it's been a crazy ride. I turned Emerald in 7 months and Diamond in 10. So when I turned Emerald, this is funny, y'all are gonna laugh. So I turned Emerald, and we are a family of 6. Well, there's not an Emerald car that seats 6. And I didn't care. I was like, you know what? Mama's getting that white Lexus, and honey, you can stay home. Me and the girls are going to go in the fancy car. I am ditching this minivan. Okay, I don't care. So we got the white Lexus. I did not realize it would only be 3 months till I got the black car and we could all fit. So anyway, it's been a joy. I've had 3 different Lexuses now, and I'm actually in a loaner car right now because mine's in the shop. But I tell you what, I'd never, ever in a million years thought I'd be a minivan mama, and now driving, my 3rd luxury car that's paid for by Plexus. So that's been amazing. Let me see. There were some other things I wanted to talk to you about on your list. Hang on. Oh, time sacrifice. Okay. This is a big one for me because I do have 4 girls. 3 of them are very, very active in sports. My oldest actually got recruited for softball by 4 different colleges at the age of 14. So we are big time softball people. I've got my 12-year-old is in club volleyball. We travel for that as well. And now my 10-year-old is doing volleyball and softball because she wants to follow both sisters. And then little one, she's my dancer. She's like her mama. So I'm like, can somebody please stay and dance? Somebody out of 4 girls. So anyway, but let me tell you, we're crazy busy. My husband travels about 50% of the time. And I remember in the beginning when there was a corporate meeting or there was, something going on, a training, and we didn't have Zooms when I started, right? We didn't have any of that. So it was you either go to a meeting or you don't hear about it, or you do a phone call, you do like a conference call. So I said, anytime there was a meeting, I said, I've got a meeting. I've got, Plexus meeting I've got to go to. I missed some games. I missed some practices. I missed, just different things with the girls because I had a corporate event. I figured, as fast as my team was growing and as the opportunity that I saw in front of me, I knew that if I made some sacrifices in the beginning, that it would pay off. And it definitely has. And guess what? My girls aren't, they're not mad at me for missing anything. If anything, they're reaping the benefits because Mama went to those meetings, okay? If there's a corporate event in town, Super Saturday, there's opportunity events coming up this spring, and then there's convention. Do not miss them. Make them priority and make sure that your people on your team make them a priority. Leaders are born at events. We hear that all the time. But let me tell you, those times that I missed, that their dad got to, do what mom usually does has, helped their relationship. So, you're actually doing your kids a favor sometimes when you're not there all the time. It also helps them to learn that they're not the center of the universe, which is sometimes a shocker to some kids, that they think, wait, if I'm doing this, that my parents have to be there too. Oh, wait, you have a life, you're doing something else. Can be a big shocker to them. So what you can do, if you're worried about this, you set your family down, you set your kids down and say, look, I am doing this for our family. You are the shareholders of our company. We have our own business. This is so cool. But here's the deal. When we're growing our business and I need to be at a meeting or I need to work, and then I need cooperation from you and I need your help. And guess what? This is what you can do to help me. And if you give them a task or give them, a reason why, maybe it's you're saving up for a vacation. That was one of the first things I did to show my kids appreciation is I took them to SeaWorld in San Antonio. We did the Children's Museum, we did San Antonio, we did the SeaWorld, we stayed at a really cool hill country resort, and we did stuff on the Riverwalk, and I paid for every cent. I paid for the gas for us to drive there. I paid for, the hotel. My husband would pull out his credit card and I'd say, you put that away. I'm paying for this whole thing. And the girls saw, hey, this mom's paying for everything. Mom, and I'll say, this is because of Plexus. I'm not just playing on my phone like y'all think I'm doing. I'm working. I do 99% of my business from my phone. And they know that now, but before they thought I was just playing. But, I remember sitting in that Children's Museum in San Antonio, just having a moment of, just being proud of myself again and just thinking, I am contributing to their future, to our future, to my family, and it feels good. So, I've been home for 7 years. I was in the corporate world before that, and I actually made more than my husband when I was working. So it felt really good when I started working again. So I definitely, actually, I do make more than my husband again, but I didn't for a long time. But let me tell you, sacrifice is huge. And sometimes it's hard for people to accept and realize. And when you realize that you have your own business and you have your own, if you don't have a brick and mortar business, it's not like you can go and you can unlock the doors and lock the doors. But it's the same difference. If you're not working, if you're not attending events, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, then your doors on your business are locked. Your closed sign is in the window, okay? So if you're not working your business, nobody else is working your business, all right? Now, you might have some team members on your team working, but you're not. You always have to be working your business, and you always have to be growing. And I was not told this in the beginning. I just figured it out, that growing wide is really good idea. And I added wide really quick. You don't stack people. And so I've had even some people, talk to me about this recently, wishing that they hadn't put this person under that person or whatever to help them get silver. No, we don't work that way in our business. We need to grow wide, and you need to help each one of those people go silver. And when you are helping your team members promote, you are going to promote. Okay, it's going to be just natural. It's going to happen. You get, 3 or 4 of your people to silver, and then you also go silver every single month. That means you're adding 3 people. Then you're going to promote. And once you hit gold, and gold is kind of a hard one right now. But once you hit gold, it's like something happens and you start realizing, oh, okay, this is the real deal. We can do this. And it's almost like a snowball effect. Like it just gets bigger and bigger, but you have to keep pushing that snowball or it will get stuck. Okay. So you can't get comfortable. You've got to always be working. But by working, I mean sharing and doing income producing activities and working with intent. So do you know what working with intent means? So when you call that friend, or you are building relationships and you're finding out about people, you're going to find out reasons why they would love Plexus. Work with intent. But relationships are huge in our business. So you want to build that relationship and be what I call a farmer instead of a hunter. So building the relationship and finding out about them and can be part of your income producing activities because it will help you. Now, here's another good tip that I give for people that are, they're saying, well, I know this person, she's, this friend of mine, she's, a fitness instructor, she's healthy, she's clean, she's already got it all together. She doesn't need Plexus. Here's the deal. If you exclude somebody because of your thoughts, I mean, you need to think of that as being very selfish and very, you're excluding somebody that you could help change their life. But if they tell you no, if they're saying, you know what, that's not for me, I don't need that, I ate clean, and then if you go around about it, whereas you're thinking of them as a connector, like, oh, well, I bet because you're in this industry and because you work out all the time and eat clean, I bet you know somebody who struggles with XYZ. I bet you know somebody who half the time, y'all, they will say, oh, well, I have some digestive issues, or I have feet that hurt, or I have migraines every once in a while. I mean, once you start, oh, you do? Oh, I didn't think you did, So anyway, working with intent. Don't leave anybody out. I love this. Somebody said, I was convinced I was talking to enough people until I started talking to enough people. So you think that you've reached the end of your Frank's list and you've talked to everybody and you've gone through it. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute. Let me make a no Frank's list. Let me start over. And suddenly you're adding people, you're working with intent, and you realize what you missed out on when you weren't working, right? So you just got to keep that, keep your Frank's list going all the time and updating it. And I'm sure y'all all know what that is. But you definitely want to keep that going. And if you haven't done one in a while, do a new one, because I'm sure you've met people since you've made it. But does anybody have any questions for me, or?
Well, I do have a quick question.
Okay.
So you went diamond in 10 months.
I did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so
I did not know that was fast. I had no clue.
Okay. Well, I hope you know now. That's really
crazy. I know now.
But so many people look at that, though. I mean, myself included, and we're like, oh, she got lucky, or, that only happens to the rare few, or that can never happen to me. And you learn the longer you do this, it's not about luck. It's about hard work and dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 months sounds super quick, but when you actually look at it, I mean, anybody who's been doing this any amount of time knows if you work really hard for a week, you're exhausted and you want to take 2 weeks off to recover from the week that you worked really, really hard.
Right.
So I guess my question is, what did that 10 months look like for you? As far as activity, as far as time spent, because we've got people who are new, and then we've got people who are 2.5 years in who are like, I'm so tired of being where I'm at. And I'm sure they'd be happy to okay, if I know in 10 months I'm going to be diamond, just tell me what to do, know? And so, and it's not like this, you were just lucky or any of that. I know you worked your butt off for that to happen. So can you just tell us a little bit about what those 10 months kind of look like for you?
So you're always looking for people that to share with, right? So one of the things that I did, and remember I told y'all that to make extra money, I sold things in Facebook groups, right? So I got to where I would still do that, but I would include a brochure and a business card and let me know if you would like a free sample. I would even have a little thing of free samples in my porch pickup area for when people came. And start a conversation with them. I knew when they took a sample, so I could follow up. Oh, I saw you took one of my samples. That's so exciting. What did you think of it? This is how you make it. This is how you take it. Da, da, da. Follow up. Always. And then another thing is adding to my Facebook, because at first I had 300 Facebook friends when I started. And a lot of people think you have to have this huge online network. And I did not. I was very, closed to, really a lot of my people were, church friends, school friends, but then I had, I had recently had my 20-year high school reunion. And so I had, a ton of high school friends on there as well that I didn't even know about. I didn't realize, because they weren't active on Facebook, I didn't realize some of them were watching me and taking note when I was talking about Plexus. Okay. So the crazy thing is, if you will post 3 times a day, at different times, you're not going to reach the same people. Some people will worry about, well, I'm going to post and everybody's going to get sick of my post. Well, to make sure that you're posting and certain people are seeing it, you have to go to their page, like or comment, and then they're going to see your thing. I tested this the other day, y'all. Even I've got over 3,000 something friends now on Facebook, and I remember thinking, gosh, I haven't seen Mary Ann's post in a while. Went to her page, liked and commented on something. The next morning, she was back in my newsfeed. It works. So if you have somebody that you met, you definitely want to see your stuff, you need to go and comment or like on their page. It's a crazy world Facebook is in. But here's the other thing that I did. Every single person I talked to, I gave them the same opportunity I had, and I led with the business opportunity always. Okay? Everybody may not need our products. We all know they do. They may not think they do, but everybody can use this business opportunity. And when I didn't have a story, I shared Celeste's story because she was growing fast, and she was paying for her whole family to go on this mission trip, which I thought was insane, incredible. And I know other people who would like to do that, right? So I would lead with somebody else's story and give them the same opportunity I had. Y'all, my biggest month of recruiting was July. So I started in April, end of April, so May, June, July. So my third month in, I recruited 16 people that month, ambassadors. I had no idea that everybody didn't do that. Like, nobody told me. We didn't have these huge groups back then for people to say, oh my gosh, Alicia just recruited her 16th person. And I was on leaderboards and stuff for like 2 years. And I didn't realize until now that things have slowed down a little bit, that was fast, because that was my normal, okay? Everybody else has their normal. If this takes you 5 years to get to jewel status where you're making 6 figures, is that still worth it? Heck yeah. Or are you in a job right now where you could make a 6-figure income in 5 years? Most people aren't, okay? So don't look at people that have flown in and done it in less than a year and gotten to the top in less than a year as, don't look at it as it's not attainable, because I'm telling you, it's attainable even with 4 kids. 4 busy kids and a husband that travels, okay? It can be done. It took sacrifice, and it took hard work, and it took a lot of follow-up. It took a lot of sleepless nights. Looking back at it, I was a crazy person, for a year. So I don't necessarily not recommend it, but I don't think it's for everybody, okay? So saying, what did it look like? What did I do? I worked, like you said, I worked hard and I worked all the time. And I probably had my phone in my hand a little too often, okay? So, but it worked, right? But that doesn't mean that it's bad or you're less of a diamond if it takes you 2 to 3 to 5 to 6 years to get there, okay? There's still room for you at the top. There's still a definite way for you to get there, and it's attainable. I had the same products I had less products than we have now. The comp plan is the same. The opportunity is still there. We're still an amazing ground floor company, but we have stability now. We have, we know we have a company full of integrity. We have a company that's growing like insane crazy. Have y'all heard what we did last year? Have you not heard what we did last year? Hang on. Our sales for the year?
I did not hear.
Hang on. I've got it written down. So, we've grown like insane crazy every single year. So that first year, the year before I started, we were like at 32 million or 37 million. And then the next year we grew like 1,600%. Never hearing about that. And it was like, I don't remember. Where's my notes? It was like 100 and something. Here we go. Okay, so 2012, 37 million. 2013, 160 million. 2014, 310 million. This is insane for a business to grow this kind of growth, okay? This is over our last 5 years. 2015, 385 million. Y'all, this is during the back office apocalypse or whatever we want to call it. And then 2016, 535 million. Okay.
Wow.
And our company, Plexus, was voted the best place to work in all of Arizona.
Wow.
Crazy. Mm-hmm.
I did not hear that.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good info.
Yeah.
So
I feel like so many of us feel like saying the word network marketing or any of that, like it's taboo. And we forget this is a real business. This is a real company that has real employees. Like they're recognized by, you know, all the real industries out there that make it a real company. And so we hesitate on that leading with the business because it's network marketing and it feels, I don't know, like the dirty word that we can't say.
Right.
And I still do that and I know better, you know, and I'm it's easier for me now 3 years in to not do it as much, but it just takes practice and it's really just sharing your heart and whether it's already done it for you or it hasn't yet, you can share your hopes for what it's going to do for your family. And like you said, share your friend's story, share somebody else's story. And that's all you have to have. So
right. We can't go around posting about plantar fasciitis and migraines and stuff like that because we have FDA watching us very closely now. But, you know, you can share with your friend on the phone. You can call them up and say, hey, I thought about you because I was on this call with this girl and her feet were hurting and da-da-da-da. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and the more that you build that relationship and they trust you and listen to you, they're going to want to join you, especially when you tell them about, you know, guess what? Our headquarters is like 120,000 square feet on an Indian reservation where we bought a 99-year lease, or we paid for a 99-year lease. We're not going anywhere, y'all. We're, you know, debt-free company that is on the right track. So, and we may have a little bit of debt now. We used to be debt-free, but I think we have a little bit with the building, but it's not a big deal. Also, we have our building uses solar energy. I mean, like, there's all these great things our company is doing. You know, they send us on great trips. I'm about to go on my 4th Hawaii trip. I mean, it's insane how they spoil us, and they do it right. You know, so you know, when you compare our comp plan and the fact that we get paid 5 times a month, and we have all these different ways you can come on as a brand new ambassador and make great money. You don't have to have a team. I remember in the beginning, I got it to like 6,000 PV one month. So I wasn't just adding ambassadors. I was adding a ton of customers too. And then over that year, turned the customers into ambassadors. But I did leave with the business, and I recruited, a low month for me was 5 ambassadors for that first year. So, because I made sure that I shared it with everybody. And I was still hung up on those 3 that I didn't get that first week, y'all. So I was like determined to go in there and get those others. But anyway, I see y'all hugging night, and I think it's time for me to go do that same thing.
Yes, we try to keep it no longer than 30 minutes. So perfect. Yes. But thank you so much, girl. I really appreciate it. This is, I can't wait to watch it back. So thank goodness.
Oh, good. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Yes, definitely.